Video online and news reports showing what looks like hundreds and hundreds of students outside the legislature in Tennessee protesting what they say is the need for more gun control. And some continued activity there as we see what happens. Of course, we talk a lot about the Second Amendment on this program from a variety of different angles, be it all of the challenges in Illinois against Illinois' gun ban and the FOID card, the firearm owner identification card. This while in Florida, they just enacted the bill that allows for permitless carry. In Minnesota yesterday, a federal judge said you can't restrict people 18 to 20 from being able to carry a firearm. And you've got all of these cases culminating after the U.S. Supreme Court said that you got to look at the texture and tradition of the Second Amendment, not a balancing of of the state's interest versus a fundamental civil liberty. Which I'll just recite the Second Amendment for you: a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So the U.S. Supreme Court saying that you have to look at the text and tradition of the Second Amendment when you're looking at challenges against gun bans or gun registration or gun regulations. We've seen a couple of different cases pop up, everything from, for instance, the issue of what are considered red flag laws. Even here in Illinois, a case that the Madison County judge decided several weeks ago. We talked about this earlier with attorney Thomas Magg, and if you missed that, you can check out the videos at WMAY's Facebook page, streaming live, WMAY News, or on my Bishop on Air YouTube page. But ultimately, a judge down in Madison County said, listen, if somebody's arrested, just charged with something, not convicted of something, you are innocent until proven guilty in this country. So if you're arrested, you can't have your firearm owner identification card suspended. A judge essentially made that ruling several weeks ago. So it's expected Illinois State Police are going to appeal that, but you've got, that just one case and tons of cases all across the country, and even the outpouring of students in the streets and outside the legislature in Tennessee demanding more gun control. And I don't know if these students necessarily fully understand the implications of what the Second Amendment's all about, the history of the Second Amendment. Maybe they are, being organized by Moms Demand Action or some lobbying outfit that claims to be bipartisan, but is really using this as a wedge issue in a political conversation. And now are they using kids to wedge this issue? And all of this happening after that absolutely tragic school shooting down in Nashville, where a Christian school had an individual walk in with firearms, shoot and kill 3 young children and 3 teachers, and police had to take that person out. Well, we don't have a manifesto yet. We don't have a motive yet. Police say the school shooter had planned the attack for months, but no motive released yet. The Associated Press reporting as students across Nashville walked out of class on Monday to protest gun violence at the Tennessee Capitol following a school shooting last week. Police said the person who killed 6 people, including 3 9-year-old children, had been planning the massacre for months. Police have not established a motive for the shootings at the Covenant School, the small Christian elementary school where the 28-year-old shooter was once a student, according to a Monday news release from the police department there. Both Nashville police and FBI agents continue to review writings left behind by Audrey Hale, both in Hale's vehicle and in her home. What are we going to see those writings? Do you think that the people of Tennessee deserve to see those writings, to know what the motive is, and to understand what is driving a person like this to conduct such a vicious attack? Or is it instead, no, we'll hold off on the motive, and for whatever reason, that's allowing for students to flood the streets saying they want gun control? It's nothing about the individual that committed this atrocity. It's about the tool that was used. So what about going after somebody who, going after the vehicle manufacturers for somebody making the wrong choice of drinking and driving? Why don't we go after the vehicle manufacturers and ban vehicles? Why is it that we always have to target the tool that the bad actor uses instead of focusing on the bad actor and what's driving that individual? There can be debates about more stringent background checks. I guess that's a place to debate, but is it instead about a variety of other societal ills that are, befalling our country? We've got full phone lines. We'll take some calls. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yeah. Hi, Greg. Let me turn my phone up here. There you go. Can you hear me okay?
I got you going through loud and proud.
Well, no, the students are in the streets because they're tired of being targets. They're tired of being killed. This nonsense that organized, they're tired of being targeted. Greg, come on. 183 mass shootings in the United States, the next country in the world in the single digits.
How many of those were gang violence in Chicago where 4 or 5 people are killed and that you don't hear anything about that?
It's in the statistics. That's in the statistics.
It's in the statistics, but you don't hear and people pouring out on the streets to tell gangbangers to stop being gangbangers, do you?
When you can't claim mental illness, So
let me ask you really quick. Do you blame gun owners for what happened in Tennessee?
Know the motive. Let's know the motive that this person had. Great. Excellent. It's not going to stop knowing her motive, knowing the motives of the other 182 mass shootings. That's not going to stop the mass shootings.
Okay. Well, what are you going to make a proposal to go and just door to door and take guns away from people? What are other countries doing that don't have the mass shootings? We're not other countries, though. We have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, and that shall not be infringed.
It is infringed already. You can't.
And there are lawsuits challenging that infringement.
You can't own an automatic weapon.
Yes, you can. If you get the proper licensing, you can.
A fully automatic, not a fully automatic.
Yes, you can. You can own a fully automatic if you have the proper licensing. Go over to Nevada and you can rent fully automatic weapons.
Oh, there you go, Nevada. Okay.
It's not just Nevada. It's a lot of places. It's not a state issue. It's a federal issue. Appreciate the call, but, I've got to take a break here in a moment. I want to get more calls. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Greg. It's amazing how many people are uninformed about gun laws and such as the last caller. But, what they need is actually armed guards in these schools.
And that's an argument that's been made. I'm going to take another call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yeah, Greg. I've got a pretty extensive firearm collection, and I have never came home and been menaced by one of my firearms, chased around the house, shot at, or anything.
It's an inanimate object. Got your point. 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Hey, Bishop, how you doing? This is Courtney Redford from
Hey, Courtney. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to have to get you on for a longer segment real quick if you could. I got full phone lines.
Okay, no problem. We will talk a little bit later, but I just heard that guy that called in about that he wanted to argue with you about blaming the actual firearm. That's one thing that's crazy about a lot of these people that are ill-informed, and they come from a very emotional place, and they don't really want to have a conversation about it because nothing that was even in place. Even if you talk about Illinois and how we do background checks every day, nothing that was in place was going to stop that person that decided that day to wake up and say, I'm going to go and shoot some kids or go shoot up a school.
Could have used a hammer, could have used a big stick, could have used a whole bunch of things. I appreciate the call. We'll take one last one, guys. I'm late for a break. Good morning.
Morning, Greg. So I wanted to address something. A lot of these instances that have been happening across the country, there's a lot of variable things that are actually contributed to it. A lot of it's to be involved with abuse of family. It could be abuse with school. It could be a lot of things. But as far as like these mass shootings, in Illinois, there's been 2 mass shootings that actually has occurred that the state was actually held liable for. like the one that happened in Aurora, where a guy was actually given a FOID card since 2014, and the only thing that red flagged him was when he applied for a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
And not to mention Highland Park. Highland Park was responsible because the father expunged his 7 convicted felony records, and then he applied and co-signed his FOID card. So the state is responsible for actually allowing that to happen.
Yeah, there's some definite things that need to be reviewed in those situations. Appreciate everybody's call. Obviously, we got to talk more about this tomorrow. I'm out of time today.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash.